Well, good morning. Welcome to Transported, the video extra, and a bit different this month because with lockdown, well, the radio program was kind of a talky thing, so this is kind of a video extra standing alone, really. With lockdown, can't do much at all. So here we are, nestling away from the rain. I'm trying to keep the camera nice and dry, and we're just going to have a quick look around Filey where I live in terms of transport. There's four modes of transport in Filey. Firstly, we've got the roads, then we've got the railway station, then we've got a bus station, and then there's the boats down the harbour. We're going to look at all four of those, and I'll describe the roads as we wander up this rather wet ginnel. And in common with a lot of seaside towns, there's no through road, it's in and out by two different roads. If you're going north, yeah, more or less north, or maybe slightly west, but one way or the other, the Scarborough Road. Scarborough Road runs up and joins the main hull to Scarborough Road, and you turn up there to head up to Whitby and so forth. The road that we're just going to approach very shortly is Muston Road. Now Muston Road is suitable if you're heading down to the south, or if you're heading west, because Muston leads you across the A64 through the charming name Folkestone. Oh, sorry, just wind my way through this little gap just here. Or if you're heading south to Bridlington and Hull, that's there. Obviously it's the same road where both roads join, it's just which direction you're going is the most handy. Now, we're heading up to this level crossing. Now, for the PCB listeners in Bradford, that's a kind of strange thing. We don't have many level crossings. There used to be one on the bowling line. That's obviously a long shot, though it's still visible. But around this area it's a lot flatter, and therefore bridges are less common. We just go for the cheaper option of putting some gates in. And you can probably see them now. There's the gates. See the rather bright spotlight on there. So we're running parallel now, heading up as though we're heading towards Bridlington or to Muston Village, which again leading, as I say, to the A64 and the west. You can do there's other routes, but that's the main route. You can see it sort of winds out. It's not far to the main road. And here we are. Now, if I just cross safely, which is probably a good idea, and wander past Filey Auto Care. Still trying to keep the camera out of the direct rain. Hopefully that's working. We'll just cross the crossing. Now, this of course is the Scarborough to Hull line, a line almost closed at one point, but saved by local councils. We've seen Filey Station before, but as you can see, there it is, retaining its amazing overall roof due to a last-minute bid by the local group that said this is historically important. The powers that be were ready to tear the thing down, put some bush shelters up. Thankfully, never happened. Right, this is kind of the rear entrance to the station. Takes you onto the Scarborough platform. And a couple of little points of interest, which I'm not sure we looked at before. There we are. This is the Elena Filey Station side. There's a little silhouette of Victorian passengers, and there's our little engine. I wouldn't say it's mechanically accurate, but it's a nice little addition and just gives that little touch to Filey railway station. So we're going to walk through Filey station now. This was the rear area. That toilet is for workmen that you can probably see. It's not Filey station toilets, and seems to be a bit of vandalism here. Look, the head's come off one of the chaps, and the other chaps have fallen over. Some people just can't leave things alone. There's some more knocked down over there. I may very well go on the Filey Moulden group and have a chat about it. Yes, look, somebody has definitely vandalised these things. I shall mention it to whoever. I am in the process of trying to start a Friends of Filey Station group. There isn't one, strange enough. There is a Humberby Station, which we shall be covering in later editions. Here we are, so this is that entrance now. And I think I'll just put my mask on because we're in station property now. It won't take me a second while you have a little look. I don't believe the footbridge is an original thing. How? mass going on. That's it, sorry about the splashing about. I think the footbridge was a later addition at some point. I may be wrong there, I just see the signal just flashed to green there. But you can see some rather splendid doors on wheels. An next train being the Toll 25 for Scarborough off this platform. And it is a lovely building and dry. The wind does whistle through it. I can't say it's the best place for staying nice and warm on a nippy day. That's the old water tower over there, obviously missing the water tank now, but at least there's some remnant of steam there. There's the waiting rooms, which seem to be permanently locked up, which is a shame. And here's the footbridge. Up we go. Pleasant green and white paintwork. Here we go. And quite a high footbridge, quite arched in fact. Rather than straight up and across, there's kind of a very slight humpback in the middle of it. Anyway, there we go. And there we go, looking towards Bridlington and down the steps. And we'll be out again in a moment. Down past the main side of the station buildings. I would certainly call this the up platform. This will be heading towards King's Cross, should you be heading that way, so definitely the up platforms. There's a sign for Cleveland Way, National Trail and so forth, and the ubiquitous ticket machine. We'll just have a quick look outside the station. Just remove the face mask so I'm not quite so muffled. There we go. And right. And if you look up there, it retains the British Rail arrow of indecision and white signage outside. I think there's probably a case where you could restore this to the blue and tangerine. I know there's bids to get people into these pop-up businesses that form the station building, but there we go. Let's go to the next mode of transport. Okay, so we're approaching the bus station now. Just through this little area here. People used to park just here up to a couple of weeks ago, but they built a new car park and put bollards up just here. Now, this is the bus station. Pleasant enough little red brick new building, or relatively new build I suppose. And you can see the Filey hopper, the VW Filey hopper bus, and then the more regular service, the double deck services run by East Yorkshire buses, the other people serving this Firey is Sun Cruisers, as they are called. Now I'm not sure whether it's still run. Right, last time I looked it was running. We do have a direct bus service, or coach service I should say, right down to Birmingham, but I don't know. There's obviously more things here at the buildings. You can see there's bricked up windows just there. So I'll just come around here. There's a few trees planted around. There we go. There's the timetabling. The timetable that had the long distance coaches in seems to have gone, but I don't think it's around. Yeah, there are some. There's one or two around the place, yeah. But there we are. Little thing for Firey Museum. It's a regular service, Scarborough to Hull, usually 1 or 2 short workings. I think there's something like there's a Hornsey bus during the summer. There's 1 or 2 little strange services that just pop up. But for what it is, that's the bus service. And as you can see, you can sit in the shelter from the rain, which today is a blessing, and there's a pleasant gardens out there. So it's by no means dead last, and as you can see there's another little window there. It does have gents and ladies toilets, which again is a great blessing. I don't think any transport system that doesn't have those things is very useful. It's a basic human need. Right, we're going to wander down through the town now. Well, here we are, we're down on the seafront now, just seeking some degree of shelter from the rain. You can see it's an exceedingly wet day, and yes, there you go, that's the eastern transport approach into Filey. You can probably see, maybe if you look out on the horizon over there, coming round are a couple of ships in slight mist. Coming out there is Bempton Cliffs. You can see perhaps that the cliffs changed from a thick red clay substance to chalk cliffs just beyond Bempton, forming the largest chalk cliffs in Britain, larger than the white cliffs of Dover, strangely enough, despite the fact their praises are sung a lot more strongly. So the shipping that comes past us, because Firey Bay is quite a broad, wide bay, 7 miles of stand, we can see the ships, but they don't often come in. We are going to see the smaller vessels, which we do have. Now, I'm going to kind of thrust my hood over again to keep the camera and stuff dry, and I'll talk a little bit as we walk about what we're talking about on the radio programme, which is here we are in lockdown 3, which is why we're doing this rather makeshift video extra to do what we can within the rules of being locked down. See a few things on the way. Look, there's a small dinghy, very much like a dinghy that I used to own as a boy. Mine has a sailing thing, but there we are, just there for ornamental value these days, along with anchors and other shipping type things. But yeah, in lockdown 3, of course, we're back to square one, and particularly for the preserved heritage transport industry. It's just impossibly difficult for them. Yes, they struggle through the summer with the lesser lockdown. They managed to do pre-booking only. Passengers could only join up at 2 stations on any given line. Places like Oakworth and Ingrove were closed to passengers, even Haworth. But you can't even do that now. So the point I was making, no matter what you're interested in, be it buses, cars, whatever, please go to their shop if you can afford it. There's that book that you once wanted, buy it from their shop. Got some model rail equipment, buy it via the shops that pretty well all preserved railways have. Just get some money to them as best you can. I know it's difficult for them, there's many as a furlough, many are not working at all, but this is the way to help them, and help them through this struggle, because it's a truism that there's a very grave danger that some of the transport heritage things could shut down. I think it's unlikely. I think everybody would fight tooth and nail and work like mad for nothing, but there's still things you can't avoid. Let's hope that the powers that be see their value and say, okay, we're going to have to waive a large amount of your council tax, for example. That kind of a thing would help immensely to cut down as possible. But anyway, that's the way that the whole programme went on the radio, so I thought it was worth just adding it here to tie the two together. Usually they're completely tied together. Usually you get a visual version of the radio programme with some extra material as well. There we are. There is the North Sea. I would say the tide is kind of halfway in, halfway out. It's a lot further away at low tide, and it comes right up to the promenade we're walking on there when it's high tide. Now, the first thing we're going to see as we come over here, you can see us ahead, is what's called the Cobble Landing, and this is where the small fishing boats live, plus 1 or 2 other collectors which you might be interested in. Right, I'm just going past your the novelty ice cream emporium, as Dad's Army used to have it. It's not very awkward. Holding my hood out above the camera is giving me quite an achy arm now, but nonetheless. So here we go. This is kind of what will be discovered as a slipway, I suppose. I've never seen this side used as a slipway, but that's obviously why it was built, I would say. And you can see it going down. The transport that goes up and down there are the seaside donkeys. During the summer they use that to go down there and offer their rides. Now what you can see here is our new lifeboat, new RENY lifeboat. At the moment she's not going in the in Filey shed. But there it is, a fantastic bit of kit. Obviously with holiday makers there's frequent levels of the high speed vehicles, high levels of things, and the rather splendid tractor that has to drag it down to the water. Alright, there we are, RLI T92. This is the RLI shed. You can have a quick pop in during summer months, and when it's not a pandemic we can see other vessels in there, including the incredibly large vessel. And here are the fishing boats. As you can see, all smaller vessels, not trawlers or anything magnificently huge like that, but lots and lots of little things. I think shellfish is the only thing that's now caught away from Firey. I think the other fishes are fished out or just simply not economically viable to go fishing. But here's the other point of interest that I always love seeing. These are the tractors which are employed to move everything down to the water's edge. Black. Do you see? Yeah, here we go. I think this is quite a newcomer, this Leyland, this beautiful blue Leyland. Obviously, as you can see, there's no registration plates on because they don't go on a public road. They just ply up now. Leyland 384, and this, as I say, relatively new vehicle. And obviously they have to stand up to all sorts of stuff because they're flipping around through salt water. But that's that one. But this is the better known one, the Nuffield, painted in this presumably rust-proofing orange paintwork. And although I think it's just been recently given something of a repaint, it usually has on the paint, on its little bonnet cowl, the word Ginger Ninja, BMC diesel, Nuffield. But that's the famous Filey Ginger Ninja. Right, well, we've seen all the forms of transport you can see in Filey now. What we're going to do in February, I do not know. Rumour has lockdown will be eased a little by the end of February, so maybe we can get some more stuff from somewhere. But there's one more item that I'm going to show you, but that'll take a little bit more walking before we do. Right, again stretching out the hood to cover this camera. This is the last thing I wanted to show you here in Filey in transport terms. Here is our wonderful little bridge, essentially a footbridge. I think it's just about enough for a light vehicle to go across towards the church, but essentially a footbridge. Why am I showing you this? Because it's a former railway bridge, and it's one of the two things which ties this area together with West Yorkshire. I mean, there's probably many things that tie us together, but this is a main thing. Don't know if you can see this builder's plate on it. There we are. Joseph Butler, Standing the Ironworks, Leeds, 1847. And the basic bridge was a railway bridge. Now, if I go over here, I believe there's somewhere there's a sign if it's not been removed. Yes, there we are. I think it's at the top is the sign, but we'll go up these steps that take you up from what's called the ravine. That's quite a popular name there. It's well standing on the fact one of a number of springs in the area, so that's a little interesting thing just as we're passing. And up these steps, yeah, the word ravine is used quite a lot around this area. So generally I would say road cuttings which ease the journey down to the seafront for the visitors, and I probably think in this case it also helps the fisher folk bring their things up. Up we go, iron tie bar there, and that's me just about to fall over by tripping over a step, but we're nearly up there now. And honestly, I'd be glad to get this feature over and get dry again, because it's one heck of a wet day. There we go, we're up the steps and onto the bridge, more or less. There we go, let's just go across it. Yeah, I think along with the little people, it's quite possible someone removed the sign which told you all about this bridge. But hey, maybe it's just gone for refurbishment. There we are. Oh no, here it is. It's just not been touched up recently. This is Church Bridge. In case you can't read it, the original arch, wrecked in 1857 by flood, was replaced by wrought iron girders. These had become unsafe by 1994 and were replaced by the present deck of iron beams cast in 1847 at Leeds for a railway bridge at Ripon. Closure of the railway allowed their incorporation here, together with the remains original Victorian parapets and converted gas lamps in 1995. So there we go. Bit of railway history from Ripon Station, cast in Leeds, and there's the church over there. There's the gas lamps. There's the ravine. We just walked up, leading down to the sea. So there we go. We're doing the best we can with Transported Extra while we can't actually get out anywhere. Till next month, when hopefully we can get a bit more content. Don't forget, click the like, click the subscribe, and click the bell to be told when there's new content comes up. My name's Tim Moon. This is Transported Video Extra. Thanks for watching.
Train now approaching